Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising. It's the weekly reading for the week of October 14th to the 20th. Your cards this week, Scorpio, we have the Awakening Oracle card. We have the Four of Swords, the Tower, the Three of Swords, the Knight of Wands, the King of Wands, and Death, your card, Scorpio. So I was going to start off by reading out your Oracle card here. So Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. You are going through a period of awakening. Things are changing within you and at many levels. You are starting to remember ancient truths and discovering more and more about who you are and why you are incarnated. You may find you are experiencing past life flashbacks, seeing the invisible thread that is woven through all life, or even feeling Kundalini Shakti rise through your body from the base of your spine. Yeah, so some of you are going through a level of ascension, spiritual upgrade, awakening to truth, and that kind of thing. Now, these kind of changes or these kinds of raises in consciousness can most definitely be triggered by trauma, by a really strong emotional situation, something really unfolding in a quite a intense way, which is what we see in your recent past, or that some of you might be experiencing right now with that Tower energy. So I guess you could call it that silver lining. Sometimes when life gets completely intense like that, that's when we grow, that's when we develop, that's when we awaken to our true selves, when we're placed under that kind of pressure. Because Scorpio here, we have a ending. Like there's no two ways or doubts about it. This is an ending, the end, that's it. Now, this is your recent past, so some of you may, be have already had that Tower moment. You might be sort of in the aftermath state. Some of you may be still going through this or will be about to go through this now. So what we need to keep in mind is that the universe gives us a Tower moment to act in our best interest, for us to realign with our higher self and to get back on our life path. The Tower moments often come in when we haven't been taking the action that we need to in our lives, when we haven't maybe been paying attention to the little signs and synchronicities that the universe gives to us, the signs to take action before the Tower comes in. But, if we don't heed those moments, sometimes the universe hits us with a big one, like the Tower energy, to basically deconstruct, to disassemble the construct of the situation that you were dealing with. So it is a general reading, Scorpio. I'm going to keep it as general as possible, but the types of things that, the Tower moment could be, it could be a massive revelation, even an awakening to a truth about a situation, about yourself. It could be, the dissolving of a relationship where it comes to a head suddenly and chaotically. You could find out someone's, cheated, or maybe just either you or your partner just one day says, let's sit down and have a chat. Oh, sorry, I just don't love you anymore. It could be something in the workplace, a redundancy, finding out that you didn't get that promotion, that sort of thing. It's things coming to a head. Now, what it says though is that the situation was built on an unstable foundation, so it was inevitable that at some point it would come down anyway. So I think deep inside yourself you probably know that. But the reason why the universe is doing this for you is because it's just not a fit for you anymore. We have a round crown on a square tower. And it's just basically not going to serve you. It's not your life path anymore. So the universe is stepping in to shake things up, to get you walking back out on your path. So, Scorpio, we have the Death card as well. So two major powerful cards of endings here. Now, the Death card is also your card, the card of Scorpio. So I feel like even though this might be traumatic, there's definitely, deep pain and hurt here. We can see that in your reading. But in some way, this is going to empower you. You are going to get alchemical growth from this situation. You are going to get awakening. You are going to get soul ascension and pure spiritual growth out of the situation. So keep that in mind as you're going through it. Now, Death card comes in basically to clear the slate, to clear away all the old, to let it pass. There's only one thing that's certain in this life, and that is the cycle of death and rebirth. So death comes in to help us clear the energy so that a new beginning, a new dawn, a new day can rise on your horizon. When this energy comes in, guys, the only warning is that we can't fight it. This adult here is looking away from death, not looking it in the eye, because she knows that when she allows him to come in, there's going to be pain, there's going to be hurt, and it's not going to be easy. But she needs to go through that in order to get to her next new beginning. So it's inevitable, otherwise she's holding herself back. The child, doesn't have that experience with dealing with pain and trauma. So, they're open. So you need to look through the child's eyes and, let this come in, do its work, clean the slate for you. And the other warning is to try not to rebuild the tower. If you do want to rebuild the situation, if it's a relationship and you really think you can salvage it, you really need to do so, like the rebuilding from a totally different place. There would need to be major changes, because if we rebuild a tower on the same shaky foundation 2, 6, 12 months down the track, we find ourselves back in the same situation, and we've wasted time that we could be getting on with our life. We could be having new beginnings, new chapters opening, new opportunities. It can block those opportunities from coming in for us. Yeah, so focus energy this week, Scorpio. This is the pain part, this is the feeling, the intensity of the hurt, the deep wounds, grief, guilt maybe. It's the hurts that we have, as the aftermath of that situation. But, the good news is that, now that this heart is exposed to the element, it's cracked open, it can then start to heal, right? So that's what we see you doing with the Four of Swords energy, is taking that time out, retreating from the situation after something that, it could have been really chaotic, could have been argumentative. I think some of you might be feeling really burnt out from that situation. This is the week to retreat, to go into your proverbial cave, to hibernate, to self-reflect, to recover, to contemplate your next move, and to allow some of those wounds to begin to heal. Because already here we're going from a 3 of Swords to a 4 of Swords. So it shows us that progression out of the situation, the progression of healing is, is progressing, and it's happening. So yeah, we have the link to the 3 of Swords in this card as well. So it's like he's taking time out to heal from those hurts. And you know what? He's keeping that battle sword here, the 4th sword, just underneath him. So what it's saying is that when these wounds have healed just enough, there's going to be energy in the tank to get up, get back into life with a sword of victory and carry on in a new direction. So look, I really do see you coming out of this really victorious, Scorpio. That's your card here. You've got your sword of victory, and then the next 2 cards that we see are all about becoming re-inspired and fiery progress, because we have the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands. So again, we're going from a knight to a king. We see real progress here in terms of getting your life back on track. So, for example, the King of Wands is somebody who is authoritarian, is dominant, is mature, knows exactly what he wants for his life. He's somebody that from this very grounded position can overlook his empire. He can call the shots and shape his world. And I think that that's what you're going to be able to do once this tower has fallen down. You can then think, okay, well, what do I want now for my life? And you can really start to create it and shape it. And you're going to be doing so from a really visionary position, because the King of Wands he's an opportunist. He's a visionary. So he's on the lookout for new opportunities to build his world exactly how he wants it to be. We have the Knight of Wands here as well. The 3 sand dunes here, you've got 3 swords up here, you've got 3 swords here. 3 is the number of, new beginnings and new manifestations in tarot. So here we see the beginnings of new opportunities being able to come in and fill the space that you've cleared by letting this letting this slate be cleared. The Knight of Wands is also somebody who's adventurous and passionate and energetic. So I see this as you restoring your sense of energy and purpose in life and getting ready to charge forth on a new direction. This is, if this is death and this is taking the rest to regroup, this is getting back on the horse and getting back into life. And I think it's going to be, quick. And I think you're going to have a lot more energy than what you had, before the tower hit. So that's really beautiful energy there, Scorpio. And of course, you're going to get real consciousness evolution out of this. You're going to be awakening to a deeper sense of yourself, of your own truth. I think that you'll be through this, you're going to gain so many more insights into who you truly are as a spiritual being, how to navigate your way through life. And I feel that this is a karmic life lesson, and because of this level of awakening, you're not going to repeat the cycle again, Scorpio. It is the end. It is done. This is the final chapter. So Scorpio, that's what I have for you. I wish you all the best with what could be a very big week for some of you. Keep in mind it's a general reading, so it won't resonate or relate for everybody. Leave me a comment. I'd love to know how it's playing out in your daily life, and I'll see you back here for another reading next week.